Look at that. Painting a black canvas with black medium. Why I'm doing it left-handed? You ask why I'm doing it left-handed? Well, it kind of leads into a story I want to tell you about, but first I'll let this hand come out. There was a famous composer named Ravel. I won't give you the whole story, but just the essence of it. Ravel had a friend who was a musician, played the piano, went to battle in war, and lost his right hand. And Ravel, the great fan he was, wrote a musical composition for the left hand. Isn't that great? Thinking of another person, and that's the reason he did it. I have another little story that I also wanted to show you, a very special person who has made it possible for others to see. This is Karen Rigby. She lives in Australia, and you know what she has done? She has developed a method where blind people can paint. What she has, essentially, is a paint that has a kind of a rubbery, textured effect. And then I'll turn to the last part of the article. It says, one of her star pupils is 71 years old. She's been a painter who has been a painter before she lost her sight, and in the 8 months since she's lost her sight, she's painted 10 to 12 works. She even does her own framing. Isn't that something? That's great. I congratulate people like that. You know, I once heard where a person who is blind, when they look at others, all they see is beauty. They hear a voice, they say, oh, what a nice young man. What a beautiful young girl. We can do the same thing with inner vision. Okay, we're going to show you a moonlight today. It's a scene that I saw and came back with great feeling for what I saw out in the dark, and I'm going to put it on canvas for you today. It's something you can do very easily at home, and you'll enjoy it. Okay, let's look at the palette. Palette, I have some pure colors for a couple of the paint piles. We have phthalo blue, phthalo green. You can't tell difference, but I know they're different because I wrote it down. Top sky. This is 2 parts black, 1 part phthalo green, 1 part phthalo blue. You add some into white. That's going to be for the top of the sky. Also, for some of the foam, it will be the color of the foam, right? Lower sky, phthalo green and white. Then you add yellow ochre into it and just a touch of black. For the eye of the wave and some of the lower sky, I'll use pure phthalo green and white. Here we have alizarin crimson and white, which will be up surrounding the moon a little bit. And then we'll skip yellow ochre, coming over to yellow ochre and white. This will be for the moon itself, and also for some of the, why do you have a brush there and a finger? One of you have to leave. Eeny, meeny, miny. Okay, so we have yellow ochre and white for the moon, and also the sparkle on the water. We'll take a look at the brushes. I have the full layout here, and we'll tell you what they are. We will use some of them, and some we may not use. But we have the knife, which is great for mixing, and we'll use this for putting maybe on the horizon. The 1-inch brush, I was putting the black medium on to start the day, and we may use a little bit up in the sky when we put on the soft blues and so on, the clouds. Bunny brush for blending, also putting some of the paint on. A mop brush will do the eye of the wave and other soft blending. For the foam, I like to use a fan brush. That's nice scrubbing around. You get an accidental look. We have a flat sable brush, round brush, smaller flat sable, and then a couple twiggies probably for little teeny incidental lights on the top of the wave. Okay, let's go, let's take the 1-inch brush as we said. Since we're working on the wet black medium, and by the way, when I said that, I put that over a canvas that was pure black, primed with acrylic. That way when I put the next color on, the black medium, I could put it on very thin like, and then when it shows through and digs in with the new color, you're still getting some of the black quality there. You could try it on white. I've enjoyed it on black. Okay, let's take phthalo blue, no medium. And when we put this up, you won't see much happening other than, yes, Bucky, I have faith that what you're doing is what you're saying. This is phthalo blue, very little, kind of brushed around. And if I hold my hands up, you can kind of see the perimeter of where I've put it, just sort of in there, fading out a little bit. I suppose I could just touch a little bit, but I don't worry about being a complete coverage. I want the incidental flavors today. Clean the brush, and then I'll do the same thing with the green, phthalo green, only lower. Phthalo green, and I'll take this, And I'll come right below where I started with the blue, which I can see right there, and I'll come down about that far. It's almost divided into thirds, is it not? Third, and then the green, and then we'll leave this just as is until we put the character colors in. So this is phthalo green brushed on. Wipe it so you're using very little paint. And as I come to the side, same thing, just sort of feather out the sides. When you meet the when you meet the phthalo blue, just brush in a little bit so you have a little bit of a intermixing there. It's not a case of worrying about keeping one pure and the other one in its spot. We mix them together a little bit. And I even, same way here, I said we stop at the third, but if you want to just feather down just ever so gently, that's all right. We're ready. Now we're ready to put in the character, the clouds. You know, it almost makes you want to run outside, doesn't it, and take a look what's happening out there? Do it sometimes, and you use this technique. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, let's take, I'm going to take the bunny brush. I wasn't sure about that, but I am now. This is the corner of the bunny brush, dry brush. This color, which looks quite light, I won't use much of it because I can almost see on the palette how it's going to look against the dark colors. That's a good way to check it out. Okay, we will make a spot. Let's do it. I'll run back just with the finger. You stay up there. Okay, just with the finger. Come back and say, this is about where I want the moon to be. I'll sort of lose that as I do this, but it gives me a kind of a base where to push this around. Look at that color. Ooh, isn't that gorgeous? Okay, we'll push this up. And as I go around, you can come around a little bit and just make character, which means you can skip a little spot. You're thinking of small clouds out there. The clouds were very kind of eerie and inky, you know, when it's moonlight. It's a beautiful time. Also scary time, right? It's not scary when you go out there and enjoy what's there, as long as you don't do it on October 30th, right? Okay, here we go, coming around, coming close to where the moon will be. Push this around, push out to the side a little bit. And as you're pushing, you think, okay, well, I'm going kind of a roll, sometimes just fluffing, sometimes making an actual counterclock. No, that's clockwise. I don't think, no, yeah, it's always clockwise. For me, if you're doing a left hand, maybe you want to do it the other way. Okay, and then a lot of soft blending into the wet medium color that we have over the whole canvas. Ooh, that's very good. I didn't use much paint on putting on this light because we have two more colors that'll go up there. We have a kind of a pinkish tone and then the moon itself. Okay, same as over here. We need to do the same thing. I did clean the brush this time. Why did I do that? Well, I want to be sure the color coming out has a little more chance to be a little bit more clear. I'll push this up then over on this side. See where I'm building around, which will be a cloud. I'll need to touch in there a little bit, but that's the dark cloud that is right in front of the moon. Push this around and then take some and just jump up into the corner. Remember, I didn't even put any blue up there, so it may even look more gray than it does over here. Like that. And let's take this now where I've almost have gotten rid of the paint on the brush. Then I'll sneak into this area, which will lighten that, give it a little bit of vitality. A little more vitality than if you left it blank. Oh, great. Okay, there we are. Come around here. See, I can feel that little bit of other than black as you do this. I suppose that'll be about enough. Let's go ahead and kind of play with the lower sky. And what I'm saying is, I'd love to put in that pink. I'd love to put in that alizarin. That's the same thing, pink and alizarin, and then the moon. But I sort of like to build up to that, and then you think, well, gee, I wonder what it's going to look like, and then smash, it's there. And you think, oh, I was hoping that's the way it would look. Okay, so we're coming with a lower sky. Phthalo green and white. We have a little ochre in it, and we also have just a little touch of black. We'll come right a little off balance. Here's the moon, so my lightest light here, we'll come over to the right a little bit, so we got a little bit of a balance of composition. See that green? That's bright until we blend it. I'll keep wiping so I have very little on this. You know, right now you say, well, it's even stronger than the moon up where the moon's going to be. That's true, but this will be the final light there, and we're still going to go lighter there. So that helps when you kind of judge things and it seems a little out of key. You wonder, where is the moon? Where is the lightest light actually coming from? spread this over to the top, the sides, have to read the notes, sides. We come across, and as you come across, you're sort of straightening this out so you get a feeling of the horizon. I'm going to come a little lower on that too. So the horizon is approximately 3 inches, 1, 2, and a giant step. Come across, get a little bit of a straight line feeling, although I don't need or I don't intend to have what you call the hard horizon line, not hard. This color, it can be done, look at it where you put the same thing on, but then I didn't blend this in as much. And doesn't it look lighter? It looks like I've used 2 different piles, but it's the same. This one's more blended, this one's less blended. I like the effect of the direction too. When I sort of put it on and slant it down, you get a little feeling like the glow is coming down from the sky. That's very pretty, and it's very effective when you're dealing with sunlight, moonlight, starlight, flashlight, no light. We go like that. Look, just as you kind of fluff to, you sometimes can pick up little incidental things, little clouds. I'm going to take some of the same greenish tone that I just used, very little, still the bunny brush, and instead of staying down here, let's just kind of go upstairs. What are you doing up here? I came to be with you. See how that helps? I'm going to do the same thing over there, over on the left side. Same color, same brush. Because outside at night, you get a lot of the kind of the iridescent feeling. It's IRR. Oh, iridescent. Well, you know what I mean, don't you? Right in here, you get that sparkly feeling. You get a lot of kind of almost a green. I would describe it as almost an underwater feeling. Mm-hmm. You know what underwater feeling is? This is underwater. Oh, that's great. We're going to have water down here. Do you want to be a little color? Okay, quit clowning. Let's get back and paint. Okay, what do we have here? We got this ready. We have the sky ready, but we'll still go with the same plan. We're going to come down and do the water, and then we'll finally put in this the number 1 glint. We'll take fan brush. Fan brush. This is the same color that I put in the top of the sky, the blue and black and green. I think I told you the formula. I may have told it to you wrong. Let me say it now in case I didn't say it right. 2 parts black, 1 part green, 1 part blue. That's into white. I might have said equal parts, but it's twice as much black. Fan brush, fill the side a little bit. You, let's see, could I scratch it all? No, I guess I can see it a little bit. If you scratch slightly, then you get a little idea where you're going to go with this. I can see just a little indentation, and it's enough for me. At home, you might take a little paint. Let me show you what I'd suggest you do at home. We'll take the small brush, take a little bit of the bluish tone that we're going to use on it, and sort of draw with the brush. Right along here, this splashes up, a little bit over there, come across. Let's see, we have kind of a large wave here. Now the moon, let's see, well, I might move the moon over just a little bit. So this eye of the wave is just a little bit to the left of that, so it doesn't look quite as stiff. Okay, this will be there. We'll have this one come over here. This is all just outlining where that wave is going to be. And then we have a little back one. Okay, that's kind of a good idea. And then you're really controlled rather than just a caricature and going all like large, and then you think, oh gee, I didn't want to do it that much. See, everything has to relate and be in its proper place. The sky is the important thing here. But here we come with the color that was from the top of the sky. See how you splash this around? When you're splashing this around, you're doing 2 things. You're splashing up, you're digging a little bit into the canvas, and the third thing, as I said, there are 3 things. You make little character on the bottom, which gives you directional strokes. See how that feels like it's kind of reaching towards where it's going? That's very helpful. You feel like it's moving. Because you're a little bit limited when you're doing something and it just stays there forever. How do you make it feel like it's moving? It's pretty much the character of the line. Okay, we got to keep moving. So they can call us a character, right? We don't want to stop. when you do something like this, for instance, when I painted this moon the first time, this moonscape, I guess you call it, go in and paint it with great enthusiasm. Just put in what you feel and what you do, and then kind of back off the next day and decide, okay, well, I'll make a composition and get this right, and then let's use my sketch, which was done with pure emotion, and kind of combine it and maybe get compositionally right. But save your original enthusiastic ones. Sometimes they're good as they are. Other times you combine what you know with what you feel. Okay, we have this splash, and then we have a little one that goes down over here and along in there. Come down a little bit. This is quite nice because this is drying just a little bit because it wasn't put on very thick like. And then you have a little more control as you work the next colors into it. They retain their vitality. Let's go back in here and notice I just went here, and after I went here, of course I'm going to pick up a little dark, and as I go back here, these will be less light because they're further away into the night. And another one back there. You have a little less movement in the wave as you go back because to show perspective, it can happen more up front, and then back they're just a little more gently moving. They'll have their turn soon. Okay, I'll take, let's see, what do we want next? We'll take the green. Let's come down with a mop brush. The mop brush is going to pick up the phthalo green and white. This is dry mop brush, phthalo green and white. You pick up, just about the shape you pick up is what you pat it with. In other words, that stroke, a lot of the brush hits the canvas at the same time. About like that. See, like that? There's quite a bit that comes off. Since I have need for this elsewhere, before I wipe off the brush and blend that, I'll come over and let's come down. This is on the shore. See the nice color that is? As it blends on the shore. Real sheen of the wet sand. That's a good time to go get grunion. Boy, I don't think I've ever tasted one. Why am I going, boy? Well, they taste like smelt, I understand. Smelt. Barbecue them. Okay, grunion time. Besides having this smash at the shore, we'll take some of this. I'll have to re-dip. I'll clean the brush and I have to re-dip a little bit. Same color, but we're doing dry brush. And let's go out to the horizon. And what I'm really saying is let's go above the horizon. The horizon's about in here. So a little bit above. And then we'll take and we'll push this around. It makes it quite a nice glow, doesn't it? Look at that. You just feel like something's just hit the water and splash. But we'll push this around more so. Oof. Like that. And again, that looks like the most important part, but we're building towards when we put in the moon. So you keep in mind, stay close to the TV. Aren't you lucky? There's no commercials. Aren't you lucky? Okay, let's go over down to this side, and we'll take a flat sable brush. This is a large one, and I'm using some of the top sky color again. The two black, one green, one blue. And we make a little bit of what? The water coming in on the shore, just like that. That looks like a 3-3, doesn't it? So we'll just blend this so it sort of fades away the further away from the center of interest we are. This represents quite a distance over here. So very soft, pushing around, and you notice my stroking, kind of a swaying stroke, and you approach the light that you put on and yet retain it as being a little bit sharper at the edge there. I like to just clean off the brush too. Just clean it off, and then you feel like the sand has been wet in that area, but it is not getting the direct light that we're getting over here. Let's take a little bit of the same thing. I ran down quickly and came right back up. The color that I just put here, and we'll come over and put some in here. This is great because we would go through the whole show and then you see the finale of it. I see where I need to blend the bottom of the eye a little bit. So let's go ahead and do this. I'll take the sable brush since I have it with me. Just brush back and forth there. Okay, we have that. And then we do need to have a little bit of path, not much, but a little bit of path for the moonlight coming down. And what I'm saying, I'm taking the lower sky color, the green and white with ochre and a little black in it. I'll have some good strong gleams coming down, but I want the little water reflections in between, which you don't get a lot of the sky reflections at nighttime other than just being dark. Isn't that right? That's what you would see. But we still have to have some of that so it breaks some of the starkness of it. Touch right against there. Okay, what do we have to do down here? We can put just a little bit of dark into that. Let's come down. Let's take some black. No, that's not black. Your phthalo blue and phthalo green. We'll use sort of brush mix, equal parts, and we'll pull this down. I like that. That was a nice choice, that little green and with it. And then the other thing we'll do along that wave is take some of the green tone. Now this is the eye color and the lower sky color, just green and white, fan brush. And let's just push some of this up. Just a little bit in there and a little bit in here, like that, splash around. Okay, I'm going to do the work down here with the highlight, and that won't take long. We'll use a twiggy brush, and I'm going to use a knife. Take a look at this. This is filling with a knife. That's yellow, ochre, and white. And then I'll do the same thing with the twiggy brush, yellow, ochre, and white. Let's use this one first. This is a little line that's right on top. Yellow, ochre, and white rushing down, doing the same thing, coming across. That's all the highlight we're going to put on there because it's a moonlight picture rather than featuring the ocean itself. You know, the floor director over there. Listen, if those cards get heavy, just hold up 5 fingers or 3. That'll be okay. Okay, what else do we need? Then the knife. The moon's going to be there. We put it right in here. See the nice sparkle? We'll blend this in a minute, but we put it on strong first. Strongly. Let's blend that slightly, and I'll use a sable brush. And this is without paint. We're going right up and blending this with what's already there. Brush a little bit, brush back and forth, brush like that. Okay, we'll take and brush this a little bit, and you're doing the horizontal stroke, which pulls away from the lightest area, and the lightest area stays rather light. You're just touching the corners of it, coming up close just like a good haircut. Leave the good stuff, take away the periphery. Okay, let's take a bunny. Why not take a bunny? Bunny brush. You didn't need to see me pick that up, did you? Oh, okay. Bunny brush, and it's clean, dry bunny brush. We're just kind of brushing this around. We could take just a little bit and angle it slightly. Watch the slight angle. See, then you get a little feeling like the water is coming there. That would happen, oh, gee, that's very nice because it gives you the movement. We need everything that's going to help us show movement. Brush this a little bit, blend a little bit, and then I'll just continue right up into the sky slightly. And now we come to the fun part. The fun part is going to happen up around where the moon's going to be. We'll take a mop brush and we come down to the palette. This is alizarin and white. I need to be sure how dark to go on this. Let me see. Let's take a check. That'll be fine. Okay, here comes the alizarin and white. And I need to push it quite generously. And what I'm saying on that, I make it dig into what's there. I'm going to do one little change that I may not have intended to do, and that's, let's just wipe out a little bit where the moon's going to go. Look, you wipe and it's dark because you're going down to the dry black canvas. That shows you that I really had it there, didn't it? That's why I did it. Okay, still the pink. Jump out here, put a little bit. And then I'll take the same pink and come across over on this side. Great. What about below? Do we need any pink down there? Red and green are such complementary colors, so it might even help having a little bit down below. Ooh, I see what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump down even lower with some of the pink. That's a nice sparkle. Okay, now we've arrived where we can blend what we have on there. And then we can put the lightest light on. You can blend quite a lot. That's a nice thing in moon moonscapes. When I called up my teacher and saw this beautiful moon, I said, and this was very early in my career, I said, how do I paint it? How do I paint it? And he said, you make a scale of blue-black up to yellow and white, and go out and do it. Save your darkest dark, save your lightest lights till the very end. So that's what we're doing today. We already had the darkest dark there, but now we're going to save the lightest light right to the end. Then you get the real punch. And the thing about this, you blend all the rest. I better just be sure I have blended a lot of it. Blend all the rest, and then when you put your lightest light on, you don't blend that. That stays as strength. Here we go. You've waited for it. Boom. Look at that. And we're going to make it so it's just peeking behind the clouds. See, I can even touch that, and that little bluish color is just a very natural for your moon glowing. Oh, look at that. We're getting the moonlight. And just like in real moonlight, sometimes you have to hurry. You know, you don't have much time. You better get that moonlight. Okay, well, I'm going to do one thing. When you say, well, you said you're not going to blend. I'll blend, and then I'll put it back on, unblended. See how nice that is? And then I need to go a little lighter with the final little light. Just like that. Okay, we still have just a couple seconds here, so we know what we're doing. Oh, touch a little bit down below. And there we have what you call moonlight.